So I've just received this package and I'm not sure what it's going to be, so let's open it up and find out. I think it could be either Midway Arcade Treasures or Flipnick, and it is actually Intellivision Lives, so been really looking forward to getting this for the PlayStation 2. I've never seen an Intellivision in real life, let alone played one. But a lot of the games for the system do look like fun games, so I thought I'd buy this compilation. Really looking forward to playing this. Over 60 Intellivision games included, so that's pretty cool. It's quite a lot of games. This cost me, I think it was around £1.50 or £1.90 or something. It's in nice condition as well. So it's complete with a manual. Let's check out the disc. The disc is absolutely spotless, and it's a blue disc again, which means it's a CD. Just have a quick look at the manual. Yeah, nothing that interesting. Oh, there's a picture of the Intellivision. So yeah, let's take a look at Intellivision Lives on the PlayStation 2. So Intellivision Lives came out on the PS2 in 2004. There are 62 games in the compilation, which includes a few unreleased games. Intellivision is still around today and is being run by the developers who were there at the beginning. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the impression that some of the original developers worked on this compilation.
You were my love and my friend. I thought the game would never end.
You start off in a restaurant called House Pizza. In this 3D environment you have several arcade machines, each containing different genres of Intellivision games, from space games to kids games. So before showing you some of the games, I'll tell you about the features. Firstly, you have a jukebox, which gives you the option of putting on some Intellivision themed music. This will also play whilst you're playing any of the games. The music is very corny, but I still like some of the songs, so you will sometimes hear some of them playing through some of the games that I'll be showing you. There are also a few adverts or commercials, few Americans, for some of the games, but you do have to unlock them. You can look at the box art for each game, although you can't zoom into it. There are production notes for each of the games, some of which contain some really interesting trivia. There are radical gameplay modes. To give you an example, one of the radical gameplay modes shrinks the gameplay screen and bounces it around the TV screen. You can also save your high scores. Well, you can do some of the time, but I'll go into that more later. And you can watch video interviews with some of the developers and a video on the history of Intellivision.
Here I was, working for Mattel Toy Company, and Mattel had come out with this big innovation of open job posting, and I went down to the cafeteria, and there's this whole big bulletin board full of little 3x5 cards with jobs posted on them. First card I see, in the upper left-hand corner, says, Senior Systems Programmer, Design and Develop Handheld and Video Games. And I thought to myself, yeah? They're going to pay me to do this?
Now, at the start of a lot of the games, and even sometimes in the middle of the gameplay, which isn't that common, you'll have to use the Intellivision controller, which you can bring up on the screen by pressing select on the PlayStation 2 controller. Since the Intellivision's controller has a keypad, and this is obviously emulated for the controls on all of the games, it can be a bit hard getting to grips with it first, but eventually it's no problem at all. Okay, so I'll show you some of the games. I won't be able to show you all of the games because there's over 62 of them, so What I will do though is I'll eventually do standalone reviews on most of the games on this compilation. This is Thunder Castle. It's a great game actually. You're basically in a maze. You've got an enemy that's chasing after you, and you've got to slay that enemy by touching one of the other animals. So like on this level it's the birds, on another level it's a rat or a mouse or whatever. So you've got to touch them and then you can slay the enemy. There's also things that will appear as well, like gold rings and goblets and whatever, and these will do different things. They may allow you to walk through hedges, or they may turn you invincible or whatever. Astral Smash, a really fun, addictive game. It's like a mixture between Asteroids and Space Invaders. So you've just got to shoot the boulders that are coming down. You get spinners as well that you've got to shoot. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. If they touch the bottom, they'll kill you. You've got UFOs as well. And basically with the boulders, if you miss any and they fall to the ground, your score actually goes down. So very fun game.
A little more. All right.
This is Magic Caruso. This is one of the unreleased games, and it was for what you call preschoolers, I think, you know, for like little toddlers. It's basically an educational game. It's pretty interesting to check out. You basically got to answer the phone, and then the Intellivision will tell you to do something like honk the horn a certain amount of times, or drink the milk, or whatever. And then you've got to bring the Intellivision controller up onto the screen, and then choose the thing that you need to do.
Get closer to the phone. Hello, now let's drink the milk.
This is Space Ark. It's similar to Asteroids. You're a little guy floating about in space, and you've got a jetpack, and you've got to shoot the Space Ark, and the Space Ark shoots out what I think are bubbles and asteroids. It's quite a fun game. Frog Bog. You've got to compete with the other frog to try and eat the most amount of bugs. The jumping is quite tricky. Sometimes you can try and make him jump one way, but he'll jump the other way. It's hard to describe, but I think it's a really fun game. Space Armada. I think even for an Intellivision game this is pretty damn blocky. It's obviously a Space Invaders clone. It's not too bad, but it's pretty hard. You know, I can only get onto like the 4th or 5th level. At first I was even struggling to get off the 1st level. Stadium Mudbug is, this is quite a fun game actually, and it seems quite impressive for the Intellivision, because the game is like in an isometric perspective. You can crush cars in it. The cars have 2 gears. There's inertia if you're going uphill or downhill. If you go through puddles or if you go through grass, your car will slow down. But the only problem about the game though is that it's pretty difficult to control your car. Motocross. This is very similar to Stadium Mudbug is, except that you're on a bike, and this game also has a course creator as well. And again, you know, the vehicle is pretty damn hard to control at times. Buzz Bombers, this is basically a Space Invaders style game. It's not too bad, but there is one major annoying thing about it, and that is every time you shoot the bees, the music stops playing. I'm not sure whether that's down to the limitations of the hardware or whether it's down to lazy programming. Night Stalker, you're in a maze, you've got to shoot the enemies. Your bullets are limited, you get 6 bullets. When you run out, a gun will appear somewhere in the maze, so you just pick it up and then you've got more bullets. Every 5,000 or so points you'll go on to the next level, and interestingly, for whichever direction that you want to shoot in, you've got to press a particular button, which is kind of weird. You know, it was a bit hard with getting used to it at first, but it's quite a good game. Pinball, I quite like this game, but there is a major flaw with this game, and that is sometimes the flippers don't work. I'm not sure whether that's an emulation issue or whether the original did that. Shark. This is my my most favourite game on the compilation. I just think it's brilliant. You basically start off as a little fish. You can eat other fish which are the same size as you, or fish that are smaller than you. If you touch anything that's bigger than you, you'll die. As you eat fish, you get bigger yourself, which means you can eat bigger fish, and once you reach a certain size, you won't get any bigger, and then every few thousand points or whatever, you'll get an extra life. Thin Ice. I've not played this game that much, so I don't really understand it yet. The instructions are quite vague, but you've basically got a circle. You've got to skate around your enemies, and that will cut out the ice, and the ice will fall out from underneath them, and then they'll fall into the water. And that's pretty much all I know about the game, really. So I'll give you my thoughts on this compilation. It's not too bad. There are quite a lot of games on there which I don't find that fun, but it was still interesting to see what these really old games were like. But there's still quite a few games on this compilation which I like a lot, so I think this compilation was definitely worth the couple of pounds that I paid for it. One major downside about this compilation is that some of the games don't have the ability to save your scores, and even with the games that do, some of them will only save your score if you exit out of the game before it says game over, which is quite annoying. So you've basically got to remember that when you're on your last life and you're just about to lose it, you need to quickly exit out of the game and then your score will get saved. You wouldn't have thought that a glitch like this would have got through testing, so my only guess is that this compilation didn't go through that much testing. So I would definitely recommend this compilation. Even if there was only a couple of games on it that you liked, it would still be totally worth getting because you can get it for so cheap, and plus, you know, the videos on the compilation are interesting to watch and the trivia is interesting to read. So yeah, that's Intellivision Lives on the PS2. It's quite a good compilation. It's not the best, but you know, it's not too bad. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.